utilize something that doesn't take a lot of time. You can obviously utilize it to help you achieve, what you want to, or whether it's, spending more time at home, which is obviously what lots of people wrote in, and, but you've also, lots of your goals are very, very realistic, and you need to remember, I think, as well, the more time that we're in the markets, the more obviously our capital is at risk, So yeah, I think as I, obviously get older, that obviously I even find myself trading less than I did, 5 years ago, but I think that the yeah, you'll just realize if you break it down, for example, 30 pips on your USD at five lots is, 1K, that's obviously you don't need a lot of trades to achieve it. So right, let's go through what is happening this morning. I will obviously hold off on that. So a couple of things to be aware of, right? If we look at what's happened, obviously Aussie, not a lot, but we've obviously got employment change has come out not good for obviously Aussie. Their unemployment rate's gone up, and this has triggered them, speaking or very, very confidently speaking about a rate, an interest rate cut. So where we've seen obviously Aussie as one of the top performing currencies, it's now dropped obviously right to the bottom. If nothing else is going to come out, and if we do get a strong dollar, there will be nothing holding Aussie up. So you got to obviously pick, little bits out like this, but this unemployment rate they will not be very happy with. Taking up point one, that's obviously okay, but point two, it's quite a big deal. So let's obviously wait and see what happens here. I've just identified dollar here, just trading in a bit of a channel. Obviously, this 98,500s holding still, because of this blackout, there's obviously, there's some Philadelphia manufacturing, and there's a few speakers later, but nothing that's gonna, move anything. That's what I quite like about this black blackout. I was speaking about or shutdown. Not sure why I keep calling it a blackout, but we're actually finding it very, very predictable to trade. And obviously, this is what, how obviously trading would be if there wasn't any high impact news. Nothing's really changing the kind of negative of what's happening here, and so I'm actually finding it a little bit easier to trade, because we don't have these, wild, things coming out. So yeah, that's obviously wait and see what happens here. Obviously, we need to be aware it is trending to the downside. Even if you're looking at it on a 4 hour, we've made a new low here. 8 hour, we've made a new, low. Daily's the only one where we're still kind of trading to the upside. So everything's lower time frame is. However, I do think we're obviously due, 99. If we look when this kind of started, we obviously got that this is all of, last week we busted right up here. This week we're obviously having a bit of a recall here. I don't see why, we obviously wouldn't be back trading at 99. So let's wait and see. We'd obviously want to see a bit of a breakout here. And then, yeah, we could be trading back up at 99, but before potentially coming down here. But let's wait and see. So let's grade our pairs like we do every single morning. What I do, just to obviously give you guys the idea, my pre-routine is, right, I will, lay out my volume indicator, which is this tool here. I go 8 hour to 8 hour. All right, and then obviously I'll mark our London Open just to give me a little bit of an idea. I think that sometimes it just helps you identify what's happening in regards to the obviously opening range. So yeah, that's obviously what I would do as a kind of standard. Then yeah, I'll be looking at the dollar, and I will be looking into yields and the stock market just to kind of identify risk. Dollar's up about break even, yields are 0.15% up. So let's have a look at what we're doing here because then stage kind of 3 or 4 is then grading your pairs up. So I obviously use yen because it's everything together is nice and easy, nice and quick. So I'd go NZD. Please don't join those people. I'm writing this out. There we go. NZD miles ahead of everything, and you can check it across the board. It is miles ahead. Then we've got pound. Pound's going to be one that we're going to be focusing on, I think, today. Euro pretty close behind. Then we've probably got Swiss and the dollar, USD. Just have a quick look at that. USD Swiss, yeah, Swiss is up against the dollar. So let's go USD. Let's go Swiss, CHF. Let's go. I think dollar might climb today. Then we've got CAD, and then last but not least, yen and Aussie. So I want to be again looking into GBP, potentially GBP AUD, GBP JPY, GBP CAD. So let's have a look at these here. Now, what we're expecting, we've obviously come in tailed off here. We can see that we've obviously got a nice trend forming here. We could even, to make it very, very simple, we could even, show this is the trend here so that there wouldn't be an issue here. We just want to break out of this area, I think, but is that going to be enough? 41 pips, yeah, I think so. We can probably gauge it about there. I think something like this, we're going to want to see this pump, pump, pump. GBP AUD is one. Why would you not? So I actually quite like where this is. We've obviously got some support here, right? So if we were to mark the support up, mark the bottom of it and the top, I'm just going to use this arrows this time. So we're actually currently in this movement here. So let's now see what's happening here. You know, Currently looking to fake out of, London Open in my opinion. Pound's obviously had good data. Aussie hasn't, or Aussie's not going to change. So I would imagine, especially if we get a stronger dollar, something like this might happen. And this would be my kind of odds on pair of what I would like. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, and I actually like where this is right now, if I'm honest. And I've noticed we've had a couple of rejections here, but obviously just overall pound being at the top, and obviously Aussie being at the bottom. I do like where this one is. So let me just 05959. There we go. Right. So I do like this. I'm going to push this in the group. GBP AUD. Hopefully, you guys can obviously understand, why we would be, liking this. We've obviously had our pull back into this area, and then hopefully should see a nice push up on this one here. So let me just put this in the group. Mhm. GBP. There we go. Okay, so that's that on there. Then GBP CAD and the last one was GBP JPY, wasn't it? I just don't know why. I don't like the look of yen pairs at the moment. Yes, I understand, we can trail it up. I mean, we've technically got if we were to break this down properly, we've technically got a few something like that. We've also got the Asian high here. What would we be looking out for here? Lower time frame. Hmm. Asian highs here. London, yeah. I'm sure there's, nicer pairs to trade than that. Let's just go through a little bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off on that one. JVP CAD, like I'd said, we want obviously this. I'm gonna post this in as well for everyone to see. I'm probably not gonna go crazy this morning because actually we have smashed it. I haven't had a week like this in a long time. In a long time. Um, so I don't really want to spoil it, if I'm honest. It's been a good one. So right, let's just go through some dollar pairs. Dollar, what would you want to bet against? Probably Aussie. If dollar's gonna hold. But obviously that this is all dependent on if dollar holds. Obviously, naturally, Aussie is going to be one. Let's just zoom down and try and make some, sense of it all here. Look, as you can see, if we ignore the London Open, right? So I'd do something like this, right? And we did this the other day. So obviously, trend has formed this, yeah. So like we obviously know, what goes down must come up, what goes up must come down. So if we're going to get this continuation, then we are going to get it from this area. Now, if we want an extra confluence here, we could put Fibonacci from top to bottom, and it's going to come in pretty much in line with where we are hoping for. Now, only if we get the dollar strength. I'll be monitoring this on the 15-minute time frame. I do think Aussie would be the one. 64 500 would be a good one. We've also got a key level sneaking its little head in here as well. Pretty early on here, which we have currently broken through, but we could obviously have, even if we went for a nice 1 to 2, 1 to 2.4. I like this trade also if dollar strengthens, but obviously I'm going to put a note here saying that this area has to hold on the 15-minute. Yeah, so it has to hold. And then obviously I'd be very, very happy to sell this one too. Mm. So trade setup. Okay. I like this one. Gold. I think we're going to be a bit trapped here. If we look, I mean, it's really hard because you just can't bet on anything else than obviously gold trending to the upside. Yes, at the moment we've got non-farm payroll, we've got an unemployment rate, but potential of this being cancelled again is very, very high. All right, so just be aware of that. Obviously, if we do get it, then brilliant. But if I think it's going to end up getting cancelled. So, but I can see gold just carrying on trending higher. This was the place to buy it, coming back into Asian low. It's recovered instantly. So yeah, Aussie's gonna. Aussie should start to pull back. dollar breaking out. Let's just have a look what else we've got at the bottom there. USD JPY, and then that will be pound yen. Pound's pretty strong still. Still the second strongest. But nothing's like crazy, you know? Nothing's like these apart from NZD, which, yeah, I mean, it doesn't. One thing that puts me off NZD is its daily kind of, movements. I mean, if we look at today it's already moved more than it did yesterday, more than the day before, more than, probably hasn't moved this much, since that Thursday. If we were to draw a box, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So that's the top, that's the bottom, right? We've got obviously our box here, compared to yesterday, moved that much. Pretty much what it moved on Tuesday. Monday, it didn't move that much. Pretty much what it moved on Friday, So the chances of this moving, more to the upside or downside is pretty, negative. So that's what would keep me away from this one here. So yeah, let's just wait and see though. USD JPY, I don't mind. If we were going to trade let's just have a look at the pound. Yeah, pounds. We're currently right. I'm going to show you because I'm going to hold off entering anything else. But I'm going to show you why I want to enter USD JPY, even though I do think that this is going to trend higher. Right. One is, we've got to look at trend. Yeah, I've got to look at trend. Right, potentially, this is obviously where we should be rolling over because trend is quite clean, yeah? It's very clean to the downside here. All right, we're then thinking, right, you know what? If we recover, what kind of area are we going to be coming into? Well, we'd have to identify probably this area here, yeah? Which is about where we've recovered from, right? Let's just double check that with the Fibonacci. Joy, it's only recently I've found I don't really need Fibonacci now, but yeah, roughly in this kind of area here. All right, so there's a lot more confluences taking this to the downside. So for me to want to buy, um, for me to want to buy USD JPY, I've got to see this trending up and then break and make that, new high. So obviously that's what would put me off trading it right now. Um, so yeah, let's wait and see. I think GBP AUD currently rejecting perfectly from that area. Just need to break through this. So very, very happy with that. I put that one on the copier, so you guys are in on that one automatically. But obviously, hopefully, you guys caught that as well. So yeah, let's have a look at GBP CAD. And then back, nicely. I actually really, really like this to push higher. I just want to see this from the 15-minute time frame. Just break this a tiny bit. And then the other one was AUD as well. Look at that, rejecting perfectly. So yeah, let's go, guys. Hopefully everyone is happy. And enjoying it. Hey Dan, should we mark up Asia high low during kill zone or mark them up from session start to finish? Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things. If I go through gold, it's a bit like yesterday. All right, believe it or not, if you use the volume indicator on the 8 hour, yeah, this will give you Asia high, Asia, low. All right. And I'll show you how to do it. So obviously we've got the 8 hour here. Yeah. This, session's running. This one's happened. All right. All you do, click on it, drag it over. All right. That's gonna give you three levels there. All right. You've got the Asian high. you got the Asian, low because this box is Asia, and then you've got where the most amount of orders were collected during Asia. Yeah. So this will give you your, levels, and if you do it from London leading into the US, you're gonna have your London high, London low, and obviously, the equilibrium where the most amount of orders were placed. All of this is on the course. And so if anyone's interested in the course, then obviously drop us a message. Well, we are going to do it that, if you've got, if you're trading with, £1,000 plus, then obviously you will have the course for free. But it's brilliant. I did put a lot of hard work into it. So yeah. But let me just before everyone logs off. There won't be a live later today because I've got a meeting. But yeah, I promise you guys I'll make it up to you because obviously I'll have missed one. So I'll try and do a evening one, whether it's if I'm back in time, I'll do an evening one tonight. Otherwise, I will do one, yeah, tomorrow, or I might even do an extra one over the weekend. So yeah, but remember as well to use the chat. Make sure you drop me any questions. It's one of the advantages, of obviously being in the inner, in circles. Obviously, make sure you utilize it. But yeah, have a good one, guys. I hope everyone has a good day.